On the night of May 23, 2017, 22-year-old Warissara Klinjui left work and was seen getting into a car with some friends. 2 days later, her body was found, hacked to pieces, and buried in a shallow grave. An investigation followed that led to her killers, and they recounted to police Warassar's chilling last words. But even more disturbing was what happened after their arrests. Warissara Klinjui, who went by the name was a typical 22-year-old woman living in Thailand, except she was living a double life. She was married, but because her husband traveled a lot for work, she was able to have a social life he knew nothing about. She even lived in a different city, telling him she was staying with her grandmother. But in reality, the 22-year-old was having a relationship with a woman who was an old classmate. Furthermore, she was also engaging in sex with women she'd met online and working as a hostess in a bar. In Thailand, it's very common for hostesses in bars to exchange sex for money with customers. Technically, it is illegal, but with rampant corruption, it's still very common. It's unknown what drove her to this lifestyle when she was already married to a hardworking man. Perhaps she was unsure about her sexuality, or she was seeking some adventure before settling down. Whatever it was, it likely cost her her life. After she started working at the bar, she became friends with 2 other women who were also hostesses, 26-year-old Kawita Rachada and 25-year-old Priyanak Nongwing Chai. Priyanak Nongwing Chai was a very charismatic hostess who had many connections and portrayed a life of luxury. She came from a poor village, and after working as a hostess, she spent a small fortune of plastic surgery to transform her body. She was very popular in the bar and also worked as a cam girl. Clung to her immediately and she showed her the way. But she also introduced her to methamphetamines, and they would engage in drug-fueled sex parties with other women. While it's likely that was aware that she was joining a dark underworld of Thailand nightlife, I doubt she knew she wouldn't make it out alive. While there is no denying what happened on May 23rd, the events leading up to it are debatable. What we do know is that had tipped police to a meth dealer who happened to be Nongwing Chai's boyfriend. He was arrested, and unsurprisingly, Nongwing Chai was furious. To sell and use meth was dangerous enough, but to be arrested for those things could mean a death penalty. It's widely known how strict Asian countries are when it comes to drug offenses. And just days after his arrest, went missing. She was last seen on CCTV footage in the early hours of May 23rd, getting into a car rented by her co-workers, Nongwing Chai and Rachada. Was under the illusion that they were going to discuss a job opportunity that involved the 3 of them. However, this was a setup. Never made it out of the car alive. While inside the car, Nongwing Chai put a plastic bag over head and smothered her to death. Rachada and Nongwing Chai then called 2 friends to help them dispose of the body, 28-year-old Apiwan Saturndrai and 22-year-old Wasim Nanpram. Together, they went to a hardware store, and among items purchased was a hacksaw. Afterwards, they checked into a hotel where they performed the gruesome act of cutting her body up. After cutting the body into pieces, they placed it into bags and separating these bags into 2 buckets. Finally, they dug a shallow grave in a wooded area, and after burying the 2 bins containing remains, they covered the area with 2 metal sheets. Unfortunately for them, they didn't dig deep enough. Just 2 days later, remains were discovered by farmers who recognized a strong smell coming from the area. Police were called, and when they arrived on the scene, they recovered the body of She had been cut in half, her hips and legs in one bin, with her arms and torso in the other. Her hands had been cut off. As well, police observed severe cutting to her neck, indicating someone tried to remove her head. Was quickly identified by a tattoo on her chest, and when word got out that her body had been discovered, the 4 involved fled to neighboring country Myanmar. However, they wouldn't remain on the run for long. Due to the barbaric nature of the crime, it received a lot of media attention. After getting a few days' work at massage parlors, CCTV footage was released of the 3 women shopping for designer clothes. The footage was broadcast in several countries, and after this, Nongwing Chai, Rachida, and Apita turned themselves in. Now by this time, 22-year-old Wasim had already been arrested in Thailand for his role, and he was telling the police how Nongwing Chai was the one who had killed and he was called just to be the driver. Authorities knew they had the people involved, and they all swiftly confessed. What should have happened next was strict punishment in line with the evidence and confessions of all involved. Yet what actually happened sparked international attention unlike any case before. The 3 women arrested, led by ringleader Nongwing Chai, immediately received celebrity status. The Thai media was infatuated with the women because they were attractive. Rachida, Nongwing Chai, and Apita received special treatment not just from the media, but the police as well. They weren't handcuffed. They got to stay together instead of being separated. There were several photographs of police officers posing with the women like they were rock stars. They were wearing facial masks and laughing and putting on makeup. They were also allowed to wear their own personal clothing, smoke cigarettes, and eat snacks. But rather than public outrage, the public actually ate this up. Journalists and newscasters behaved like paparazzi anytime these women made an appearance. After pictures were released with the women laying on multicolor patterned pillows, the public went crazy for the pillows, and they were bought completely out of stock. Even more sickening, though, was a keychain that was bought out by the public. It was a hacksaw keychain with a picture of killer Nongwing Chai. Truly disturbing, but people ate it up and bought these keychains out. The women achieved a level of fame unlike anyone arrested for murder before. Everyone involved admitted their guilt in their role of the murder of Nongwing Chai and Rachida admitted to luring her into the car, telling her that they wanted to talk about a job opportunity. They claimed to police that they had only planned to threaten and scare her, but things got out of hand. Nongwing Chai stated that during the altercation, said, quote, "If I survive, you die." This was either the most badass statement one could make to 2 people you're in a physical altercation with, or it was simply a lie by Nongwing Chai to make it seem as though she killed out of fear that she would be killed. In an attempt to get her friends off, she told police it was her idea and that she loved but wanted to teach her a lesson. She later said she didn't mean to kill her, but she accidentally did, and once she realized that she was dead, she immediately wanted to get rid of the body like she'd seen in movies. She called Apawan and Wasim to help her and Rachida. The 4 of them went to the hardware store with Wasim driving, and then to the hotel where Am's body was dismembered. They accompanied police to the location where they dug a shallow grave and callously dumped her remains. Because they confessed in Thailand, that nearly cuts their sentence in half. The mere act of cooperating relieved them of the death penalty, and rather than facing a life sentence, they were now facing about 30 years. And ultimately, Nongwing Chai and Rachada each got 34.5 years for conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to destroy and hide the body, and conspiracy in theft. The 3rd woman, Apawida, that they had called to help in the crime, she was found guilty of conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to destroy and hide a body, and taking methamphetamine. She was sentenced to 33 years and 9 months. The driver for the woman, 22-year-old Wasim Nanpram, was found guilty of being an accessory to murder, conspiracy to destroy and hide a body, and conspiracy in theft. He was sentenced to 23 years, 4 months, and 20 days. Another friend, 23-year-old Jidaret Pramanthun, was sentenced to serve 1 year for receiving Alm's cell phone to sell. Even after their sentencing, it would remain a hot topic, while Nongwing Chai's family would petition for her release. Many media outlets would join in with them. This was one of the most disgusting cases I've ever seen. I've never seen a case where the victim was so disregarded and the killers were put on pedestals like this. It was truly disgusting. Rest in peace to who was just a young woman who was making mistakes. Let me know in the comments if you found this case as disgusting as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.